right, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. With the real Hebrew Israelites coming out of GMS Birmingham camp. But before we get started, we'll start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the head elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who grew well, teach well. Also want to give a shout out there to the hopeful elect, to Joachim and Fuakwa, who are in the lead. Right, so we're going to get straight into it, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, as we see in prophecy unfolding upon the planet Earth. All right, what you got? Wars, rumors of wars.
Shot. But you see, our people, they take refuge within their religions, whether it be money, all right, or some sort of philosophy. But when you go into the doctrine of how about Shema Shai, it entails the end of America, Babylon the Great. So all your doctrines and your beliefs, okay, that you have on this side of the world that pertains to prosperity, America continuing basis is going to come to the night. See, that's why our Lord said, remember the days of thy creator when the evil days come not. These days are coming. What y'all got?
He said, when thou shalt find no pleasure in it.
Right.
You ain't gonna find pleasure at the end of this place. Because the end of this place is bitter. That's what going back to the name. We had the Apostle Paul brought out the lesson of that. That's going to be the beginning of this place is going to be bitter. The end of it is going to be bitter. It's the whole thing of America, that word America goes into bitter. And this place is bitter to us because it's the land of our captivity, but it's going to have a bitter end, ending with the destruction. Thermonuclear fire.
The Lord tell you how He's going to turn that pride into more. They tell you that shows that this place is going to end bitterly. Those who was once in that glorious state, they're gonna turn to be mourning. That's the sign of the coin. Those who was mourning, we're gonna be rejoicing. That's Isaiah 65. My servants shall rejoice, but you shall have sorrow of heart. Fuckers, man. But I got something real quick. This Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O birds and daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." You see, the Lord's gonna strip the beauty from this place, man. That tender, beautiful, tenderoni, that bitch, she gonna be raw out, man. And that's America in its glory. This bitch, she started out, as something to be chased out all niggas had this thing to come here, but now this bitch, she washed up, man. The Chaldeans was known for witches and warlocks. The witchcraft, all the sorcery was not working no more. I'm feeling excited about Christmas, Valentine's Day coming up. Nobody cares, man. So the lust of this place is pretty much ran its course. Now, the only thing that really makes sense is the Nilsons, man.
Let me agree with just one real quick point. That's how you know that this place is really comparing to a woman. Because as a woman get older, men start lusting after less, man. Yeah. When she was in her 20s and 30s, niggas was coming after her, but as she get older, she get more rejected, man. And the only thing that you wait for this bride now to do is die. Yeah. What you got?
I'm going to say too, Al, see the point, like a woman that you, she gets moist, so now we're in the stage where she's 250 years old, she don't get moist no more. So now it's a bird trying to get her,
Yeah.
So it's like, man, like, the hell with this whole it's like, dog.
He said, no more thou shalt be called tender and delicate. You virgin, but now you about to be touched. You about to be touched by this. You about to be destroyed. Nobody ever. Yeah. Lord, for in that spiritual train by the way of fire, and 200 million missiles on your ass. Right? Yeah. You ain't never been touched because America, they had those with the Spanish-American War and this and that. But ultimately, America is now being penetrated. But you about to be penetrated by that spiritual, rod. And that rod of correction on your ass by the way of thermonuclear fire. The Lord is about to pelt you. You about to run that spiritual train on your ass by the way of thermonuclear missile.
I may say, like, it ain't no coincidence that the missile look like a shaft, man.
That's it.
That male shaft. You know what I'm saying? Designed to penetrate. Got the head on it. They designed to disperse. So, not to get too vulgar, but, this is the spirit of the Lord. About Shema Shai. He's going to pretty much break America. This one who got off on fornicating different nations. So the Lord's going to bring, like, something that she really don't want, which is a violent break.
Yeah, see.
I got something real quick to bag of those arrows penetrating this woman. This is the book of Sirach 26, and I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her. But every edge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. And that's how you...
Yeah, I mean, just going into it, though, this is America. In the grand scheme, of course, it trickled down to a woman who's a whore. How much more American Babylon the Greek, right? Who has pretty much opened her mouth to every quiver. You see, because basically they have taken in all these different philosophies of these different men and different nations, right? And that's why you got these people's minds being polluted with different ideologies, man. See, okay? That's why America is such a bad state, because they have pretty much taken up on all the philosophies of these other nations, right? So we're in a time where the Lord is pretty much reproving these different doctrines, ideologies. Okay, he's gonna pretty much burn the whore, as he do with the priest.
Hey, so like if I make it, guess what? This bitch is the mother of harlots, man. You know what I mean? So that's, hey, like you said, although that scripture, you know, it trickles down to an actual woman, but how much more to the source? Yeah. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, you get that out. Go back now, Isaiah 47.
Yeah, come. Yep. This Isaiah 47 and verse 2. It says, take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy lock, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
And that's America, she's being revealed, man. Here it is, these other nations is knowing who she really is, man. That's why you got all these NATO nations coming up against Trump and shit, man. Because you're like, oh, wait a minute now, you ain't finna, you know, do that. You know what I mean? Because here it is, she revealing herself, man. All right? And once they was at peace with thee, but now here it is, all the nations is beginning to hate the war, man. All right? And it's all prophecy, man. Okay, it's going to lead up to her destruction. You got it, right?
It says that nakedness shall be uncovered, yet thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Yeah, her shame is being seen now, man. Again, for who this bitch really is, man. All right? And then when it says, I shall not meet thee as a man, yeah, the Lord, he's going to come, hey, as an angelic power, man. All right? With the chariots, okay? The Lord, because, hey, it's going to take the Lord to take this devil down, man. All right? You got it, bro.
That's why I say, we shall make war with the beast. That's really talking about Yahweh Shai. That's why I say I will not meet thee as a man. You know?
If I make the Lord come back as an angelic power, man. You know, on those chariots and even controlling the missiles. You see? And who don't hate a whore? You know, you find out your woman a whore, you see, you hate her, man. You know, and then it's gonna be justified for the Lord to destroy America, Babylon, and Greece, even other nations. Adopting our ways, that shit to destroy their society, man.
They done invested. You know what I mean? That's equivalent to you falling in love with the hoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for you to find out that she's a slut, man.
Oh,
She burnt you.
yeah. That shit make you know.
So I might add too, because I was talking to the brother, I don't know if y'all heard about the Kevin Gates situation with his ex-streaker. He was saying the reason why she divorced him because basically she was taking his money and she was sleeping with another man. So it's like same thing with America. They find out that America was never really for them. I mean, they found out, they found out America was never really for them, but it was after their own game. All right, so you know, it's a nation with a great whore, man. Okay, they're really after their own game, so they're gonna do whatever they need to do to get that, even fornicating, committing adultery. Same thing with American Babylon Greek. Okay,
If I may, but that's like a woman taking you to court that you thought they was down for you and taking all your shit. And that's like America, like this motherfucker. You made all these peace treaties and deals with it, and this motherfucker come in your take all your resources out, and then you fight back. This motherfucker send his military on you, man. You know, and that like going back to what the officer said, this place was really never for you. You know, and that's why the great nation. You see, you got all these nations aligned, getting an alliance together to really take down the whore. Because really, these nations can't face the whore by itself. You know?
I got something there, guys. This war is the book of Revelation 13. I'm going to start at verse 3. And it says, and I saw one of his heads as he was wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered and probably 2.0. But this is going to be the height of the kingdom. Inside the world, they got influence upon the whole planet earth. On Job 9 and 24, and they worship the That's why a lot of these other countries, reason why they coming out with their missiles, because they're really playing catch up into America, man. You know, you got it.
You seen it with Venezuelan guard. You know, when America was sending the plane, nigga said, if you think you can war with them, you know, you crazy, man. Pretty much going back to who can war with the beast. See, this nigga went to how he popped up, the gear that they popped out of him, you know, so
that's even like his suits.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he run up on you. Now you can see him. He have technology that he can shoot around the corner and down over that nigga. You know, nigga got these for real. And if push come to shove, he could just send a robot to knock him down.
It's like some of those advanced. Like Kim Jong-un and all these other, they got a parade and shit.
Yeah.
This I'll show you in a movie. He'll make you think that's just a movie, but nah, this nigga really got a transformer, man.
Yeah.
You know, believe
Optimus.
it or not. Yeah,
Optimus coming in, motherfucker.
believe it or not.
Nigga taking over the coal mine.
Yeah.
What you got, Joe?
If I may, just willing to bring out, this is Joel chapter 3 starting at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks in the spirit. Let
like the brother going into, now these nations are catching up. They playing catching up. And one great way how they playing catching up is coming together, man. All right, everybody putting their weapons up together against this bitch, man. Because here it is, you know, like you said, she got the greatest military, you know what I mean, the greatest missiles. You know, it's Babylon the Great, man. But here it is, hey, these nations, they coming up with a plan through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah. But you know, hey, it's going to be the spirit of the Lord upon these nations to come up against this war, man. Right?
it says, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks in the spirit. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh Shema Shah.
Yeah, these nations who these Americans look down upon, hey, they come strong, come together, man. They come up against the war, man, because ain't nothing more powerful than a fucking American, man. All right? These people that walk around like they can't be touched, you know, like we got the best military. You know, you even have one time where niggas make TikToks. You know what I mean? Somebody, yeah, y'all really think we scared of Russia, but we got everything. My nigga, hey, look, this spirit of the Lord is gonna be upon Russia, man. And you gonna see, hey, Lord gonna put those hooks into his jaws and turn back to that old state. Yeah, before you niggas even walk upon the earth, you ain't met that Russia. You know, but you about to meet him soon, though, man. You know, fear gonna do our people, man. You see, and it's gonna be the spirit of Yahweh Shah, man.
And to grow to that weak saying I'm strong, because you know when America came pretty much into dominance over the dollar, you know they dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They put fear across the world because no one else we had that technology. I did it. A lot of different nations now have, you know, they don't need a standard military man, army to fight. All right, so like the brother said, they all going to come together. The nukes. That's how the weak are going to be made strong, man. We in here got nuclear nukes to come up against the war. See that? Anytime problem.
If I may add to that too, the they unbeatable. They unstoppable, man. Even Esau knows when you shoot off these hypersonics, even how fast it's moving, you can't knock it off. And then you come, he's moving so fast, what about the Poseidon? It moves so slow that you can't even knock it off, man. So that's how you know that the spirit of the Lord is really going to be in these intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. You know, because I think it's one hypersonic missile, it can dodge these other missiles, man. You know, and obviously they just will. They should break their rank. So let's say if you know, because that's why Trump got these golden domes that he's trying to bring forth. Let's say if they do knock something off of it, if it's a big explosion in the air, niggas are gonna be cheering, niggas gonna be crying. But after the dust settle, you're gonna see missiles still going. Them motherfuckers might come even harder, man. They change colors. You know what I'm saying? That was just the first layer. Now this the real warhead that's coming, man.
Like a rainbow in the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, because the Lord said, so podcast and you know, and that's pretty much the nations pretty much investing in the war instead of investing in the agriculture. So you're gonna have more intense, weaponry here in Earth, the nuclear weaponry, right? Because that's what they investing in. Niggas, rushing towards nuclear dominance. It ain't about who got the best society or what it look like. No, it's about the nuclear dominance in the Earth. Because you in World War III. This is world dominance, man. See, world dominance is gonna land in the hand by Lord Yahweh shot.
If I may add, just going back into your point, what the brother pulled out said earlier about when the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's when their power was dominated.
Yeah,
so these
right.
nations, they're going to try to fall out the same way. So whoever dropped the bombs first, that's what they think is going to basically be in rulership.
Yeah.
Not knowing, like you just said, it's going to be a how by Shema shot. The Lord put the spirit on you niggas to create the bombs just so you can destroy yourselves, man.
So I mean, going back to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was the Lord opening the door the blood for them. Because that started that nuclear race going to World War II. Hitler and this and that. That started that nuclear race. That's when the time started ticking and the speed the clock started speeding up. Right? Because that was the end drawing near. Because that was the Lord put his spirit on, them that are weak saying I'm strong. Everybody then wanted to follow after, trying to catch up with their horde and ultimately destroy.
Yeah.
It's like
And go back to Job. The Lord said, what is that? The book of Numbers, when he say the destroyer himself.
created the smith that blew
Oh,
the
sorry,
corn in
let me
the
get it
fire.
real quick, man. What's it? Number 35.
Oh, you talking about the land must be cleansed.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's the spirit because he didn't want to drop the bomb on the whole world.
Yeah, this is Numbers 35, verse 19. It says, the revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him.
If I may, why the Lord say, vengeance is mine? You know what I'm saying? Read it again.
Yeah, it says, the revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him.
Therefore I say, who shall make war with the beast? The answer to that is Yahweh Shai. And he's going to make war with the same weapons you used to establish your wicked system, man. Come on.
Yeah, it says, but if he thrusts him of hatred,
That's pretty much it. Read 19.
yeah, it says the revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. And if I may, because Yahweh Shai, he's that revenge of blood, right? He's the one who's gonna return. Cause we say, blood. Man, what's that in Isaiah?
Blood shall be to the horse's bridle.
Yeah, that's it. Splashed upon his garment, man. Who is this that tried to the wine press? You see, and that murderer, being a so-called white man, he's going all the way back to Cain, man. You see, this is who the Lord is returning to visit. And this nigga known for murder. Dropping those bombs. Because even in the Pacific, Japan, they attacked Pearl Harbor. That's a military base.
Yeah.
This nigga attacked the city, man. You see, that was unlawful war. Unlawful war act.
Yeah.
The Japs, Ant-Man, they really attacked the military base, man. They ain't no soldiers, man.
And if we add on that, I think 3 or 4 days before, they waved like flags.
Yeah, they did.
And the niggas still dropped the bomb.
Yeah.
That's like somebody said, man, you got to say, no, I'm a big 9 point. Telling you that this nigga, he just wanted to see what he can do.
Oh man, like people say, this man is pretty much continually gathered to this war. When you read Revelation 64, it says that the greatest war was given to the earth. What was they talking about? This man carrying all these different wars, these different psyops. Pearl Harbor, going into like Japan, they wave white flag before they drop the thing, man. This man is always waiting for against what happens to the earth, including himself, man. So if he keeps doing this, then everybody's gonna be destroyed. That's why we need Allah Shema Shai, to come as a revenge to meet this man, for his atrocity, for his bloodshed. That's why the Lord said I should not meet you as a man.
I got bloodthirsty. Proverbs 29:10, the bloodthirsty ain't upright, but just is so. And that's how you know that this nigga, he's gonna come after us, because we telling his plans, man. We telling you that this nigga, he's finna try to push forth world dominance through the sword, man. It's not gonna be no diplomatic talks. It's gonna be a lot of bombs droppings in order for this NWO to get off the ground. And this guy, he trying to take us out because ultimately we telling y'all his plans, man. You know, but the Lord gonna deliver us.
It's like, if I may, because he lived by the sword, shall die by the sword. So the Lord put that sword in your hand, ultimately to destroy you, man. He put that spirit, that warring spirit on you, so he can ultimately wage war against you, man. So it's all shows the authority and power of our Lord Yahweh Shah, which is the word made flesh, and ultimately this is gonna be your end. Because those who live by the sword, and we know Esau was great, robbed, and murdered his way to the top, but that's gonna be your downfall, and it's gonna be by the ultimate sword, thermonuclear destruction, man.
That's true. Pretty much, he's gonna pretty much fall upon his own sword. You know, just like Sam, he fell upon his own sword. Saul. Like, yeah, Saul. The one. He's gonna fall upon his own sword. I see.
Yeah, this is second Ezra chapter 7 verse 43. It says, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for the come, wherein corruption is past. See, and that doom's gonna be brought by way of those missiles, you know. And it says, yeah, and that's pretty much what's gonna bring forth the end of this guy's rulership, the end of this period of time. You know, this is why World War III is a big talking, even a concern in the earth. But it says, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off. See, this is everything concerning Esau, man. You know, that spirit of infidelity. You know, this nigga got a Big Bang Theory doctrine in the earth. You see? And it says, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, truth is sprung up. So this shows you what's to come next. After this guy is taken down, you know, 2 Peter tells you about that world of righteousness, where righteousness dwells. You know, this is what's to come after this rulership of wickedness is passed over, man. You know, it says, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it says, then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that has gotten the victory. And those who are going to get the victory is the elect first and foremost of the nation of Israel. But yet the nation is going to follow behind the elect, you know, and never to go into oppression again, but the one that's going to be destroyed to never return to so-called life. This why he's that last. The Lord tell you how the last enemy shall be destroyed is death. And that's fucking Esau, man. That brother's
got something real quick. Just going back into the quote from Albert Einstein, a famous quote from World War III. It says, I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. I'm telling you that this is going to be the war. Because even once man, people don't know, this place is going to be known as the Valley of the Shadow of Death for a reason. When you see how much dead bodies get dropped, we see just niggas off the street going against the NATO and the EU troops. A lot
of saying, brothers who speak mysteries. See, and the Spirit of the Lord is going to, again, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be upon these different nations to come up against the war, man. All right, to make this an utterly wasteland, man. You're not going to tell the difference between California and Alabama or California and Oregon or wherever, man. All right, this is going to be a total wasteland, man. And Yahweh Shah, hey, he's going to make his word come to pass, man. Because it's thus said the Lord. And we see it by what? 2 Ezra 9:1, measuring the times diligently within themselves. All right, we see prophecy is unfolding. Like Brother mentioned, how prophecy is happening rapidly right now. Because what? We at the end of this bitch, man.
If I may, the missiles on the scene now.
That's it.
It ain't like back in the time with the disciples. We gotta wait another 1,500 years before the ICBMs. Oh man, the missiles on the scene right now, man. You know, ultimately, and what they on the scene for? They ain't on the scene just to be looking pretty. But for death threats, no, they actually meant to be put in use, man. That's why when we Papa Shah, I go back to this is filed and Dilly have turned down upon his own take. You ready that part?
Yeah, come. Yeah.
But you ain't gotta get it again.
If I may add to those missiles being on the scene, that's like the head, the bullet being in the head of the gun, man. You know, it's like it's action time. They ain't like the missiles on the scene. They gonna gather dust and you gonna be able to drop smiley faces in them and shit. No, man, that's equivalent to a nigga cocking a gun in the midst of action, man.
They lock you low.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's how you know even in kind of how they silo that silo really is a gun. The chip is already only thing about a push seem like you can navigate it to the ocean. No, it's going to hit that land mass. You know, so even when these things get shot off, that's why Scripture say they should not be returned from where they were sent until they actually do the Lord's pleasure. And what's the Lord's pleasure, man? To destroy America.
Psalm 7 and 16 in the version, it says the trouble they cause recoils on them. Their violence comes down on their own head.
Yeah, so the thing that you did, it records as a you suck fucking shit hit you back in your head. But again, this is the same thing that you push what throughout the planet Earth. Bible Kashab, Brother can get Job 4 and starting at verse 8, just getting to the point. Because again, it ain't like the Lord is doing all these things for GP or doing these things for no reason. It's a reason why. Because just look at the immoral of the devil. That's why I said shame for spewing shall be upon his glory. You look at guys like Christopher Columbus, but even what's my guy name? Thomas Jefferson, who made the Louisiana Purchase. 5 years ago, this nigga was a hero, man. But as time goes on, you realize he was a freak, man. He had a fetish for Jake women, man. You know what you gotta do, huh?
Yeah, this is Job 5:8. It says, even as I have seen, they that apply iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same.
Yes, you apply iniquity and you sow wickedness, man. You want to push forth evil tidings throughout the whole planet Earth, and the Lord said you're going to receive the same. So the same thing that you did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's the same thing that's going to happen unto you. It's a little bit more on that.
Yeah, it says, by the blast of Yahweh Shemal Shah, they perish.
Yeah, by the blast of Yahweh Shemal Shah, which they perish. And what their blast is? Their blast is not talking about a guy with a flamethrower. No, their blast is talking about these intercontinental. And this is how this whole kingdom will perish. You got it, bro.
Yeah, it says, and by the breath of his nostrils, they are consumed.
And that's really like they're destroying men, but even the breath of the Lord. Because Yahweh Shemal Shah, he spoke this thing first before they was consumed. That's why Esau, he's so afraid with us just on the street corners speaking the words of the Lord, man. This is why this is the people trying to fight against Esau. No, the best way to fight with him is this truth, man. Because with us pushing forth this truth and breaking these things down, ultimately that's a way that this kingdom is getting knocked off, man. You know, tearing down Babylon. You know, which I works out.
It's that dreadful sound. Because this devil know his end is at hand via the word of the prophets, beginning with our apostle that was great men going on down, declaring your downfall. That's why at the Revelation 12 and 12, this devil is coming out with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time. He know that he had but a short time by the word of the Lord going out declaring this devil's downfall. It's like you brothers got
If I may add on to Numbers 35, I started verse 33. Because pretty much, you know, Esau, he understands the law. Those who in power, they fully understand what the law consists of and a judgment, Yahweh Shemal Shah. So 33. So you should not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood is defiled the land. And we know that Esau has defiled his land with the blood of the neighbors. All right, and also the so-called blacks and Latinos. All right, the children of Israel. It says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. See, so they know that the blood that was shed cannot be cleansed by their blood that was shed, but only by those who shed it. So as they have pretty much caused the death of the saints, the Lord is looking for pretty much recompense. And then when you got prophets out here, as they have been of old, proclaiming judgment, that's a great fear unto Esau, like the brother mentioned. Dreadful sound is within his ears. So the Bible consists of Esau's overthrow. It consists of so-called white man's downfall. But again, it had to be spoken first. It had to be proclaimed first. It had to be a testimony that went out to the Most High, who was the ultimate judge, to condemn the wicked. It's what this man tried to stop all along. Okay? So in return, he's going to do what? He's going to regulate the internet, stop the prayer from going out. But again, that all goes back into prophecy. It goes back into the Lord pretty much going to the next phase of prophecy. Okay?
And if I may add, you got
Amen. Yeah, this is Joel 20 and verse 11. It says, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great.
If I may, he said he should utter his word before his army, man. Basically, these things is going to be spoken, man. And that's why a lot of times when he spoke to Ezekiel, he said, thus saith the Lord. But then at the end there, it says, then shall they know that I am the Lord, man. So when will these Americans go to Yahweh Shemal Shah faithfully true when the missiles hit? Just like in the time of the flood, when they knew that the Lord, Noah was working with the Lord when he started raining. So that's going to be the same thing with us, man. And he ain't like the brother mentioned earlier, that dreadful sound. He ain't like we telling this place that all things is going to be beautiful. No, we telling you that shit is going to get worse from here on out, man. It ain't like it's going to go back into niggas always talking about 2016 or the nigga going back to 2003 and they glory years back in 95. That shit is long gone away with, man. Ultimately, the only thing that's left for this place is destruction. You got it, Lord.
Yep, it says his camp is very great, for he is strong that executed his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide in it?
That's why he is strong that executed his word, man. And what's the word, Lord? What's the word of Lord? Is in telling the destruction of America. Bible Bashar, brother, could get Hosea 6 and 4, 6 and 5. Bible Bashar. Because again, before the destruction ever came, it was spoken first, man. And this is why these devils are trembling when it comes to us pushing forth these words. And Bible Bashar, brother, can hold that wisdom of Solomon in the 2nd chapter. Like around the 14th verse. You got it.
Yeah, this is Hosea chapter 6 and verse 5. It says, therefore I have healed them by the prophets.
Yeah, I have healed them by the prophets, man. And once you go into that word healing, you basically chopping something down, man. Breaking it down. So this kingdom is being broke down by the words of the Lord. Brothers doing videos, you breaking down ancient book and equating it to things that's happening today. You got an article about how Russia having hypersonic missile, and you break it down into something what somebody wrote 2,000 years ago, man. That's the spirit of prophecy being in their hand, man. And that's the biggest thing that Esau fears. You got it?
It says, I have slain them by the word of my mouth.
Yeah, I have slain them by the word of my mouth, man. So with these words, as we taking the place down, you got it?
And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
As in his judgments as the light that goeth forth. The judgment of the Lord, which is really going to be the destruction of America, is going to shed light throughout the whole planet Earth that the Lord's words was faithful and true. Because again, everybody upon the planet Earth can feel the end of America. Yeah, that's the post upon the planet Earth, and that's why a lot of these nations is just trying to job for position, not knowing that this position really belongs to the nation of Israel.
And if I may think not that the kings of the nation don't know about the children of Israel teaching the word in America. All eyes pretty much in on the judgment of this place, man. And this is how they're gonna know that the word of the Lord is faithful and true. You see? Because these people know about the children of Israel and ultimately the message that's taught. Because why Trump called us the prophets of doom.
Beautiful, bro. Beautiful.
That means they watching. And this is how they're gonna know that the Lord was pretty much important, because the words are gonna come to pass, man.
Yeah, to your point out, Isaiah the 13th chapter, go to that. Going to the gates of the Lord. It's a higher ups, man. So yeah, Isaiah 34 goes and also, hear your nation, come here and hearken unto the poor. So yeah, all nations had to hear this gospel that just before it came forth. You got it out.
Like the brother just said, declaring this amongst the nation. This is a decree that's coming throughout the whole planet Earth. Because even though salvation is not for you, but this word is. Because there's a judgment that's going to go to Elon. There's a judgment that's going to go to Moab, and we know that it's going to be a heavy judgment that's going to come down upon what? The children of Israel. And this is why this nigga is panicking, man.
But Esau the only one that's not gonna have. So that's something that you should really inquire of this life to come. And when you gonna land that, man?
Yeah.
Also we gonna be slaves, but we gonna still have a portion. Our land with Esau. Oh, so this the man.
Is this the man?
Is this the man?
Is this the man? Because Esau gonna be in his natural state, beard. We gonna have garments on him, gonna be frail and shit, see? Bible Shop, he gave us some star that way. And then we're gonna jump down a little bit. Start at verse 1.
Yeah, book of Wisdom, Solomon chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves.
Yeah, and it's like the means of the upper echelons. The Bilderberg means that when the bankers meet, that's why I said the ungodly reason among themselves. This is what these guys be saying in the chambers, man. You got it?
It says, but now all right, but not all right.
Not all right in the right mind, because you can fight against the Lord.
Our life is short, and tedious.
And that's why we probably pulled out earlier. He coming down having great route because he knew he half of the short hand. This is a sense of desperation that this nigga doing, man. You know, nigga mad because he can't get out. You know, nigga want to do what he want to do. Nigga mad, not knowing that the Lord is ultimately setting you up for destruction. You got it?
In the death of a man, there is no remedy.
That's the spirit because the kingdom has been hit with a deadly blow. Again, let's say, Roman Empire, they came back, but they're not going to rise up like the Phoenix, man. You know, he ain't like it's going to be a Roman Empire Part 3, the return of the Timonites. No, this is the end-all, be-all of this guy's kingdom. And that's why he's such in a desperate mode now, man, because he know him popping back from the Roman Empire. That was a fucking miracle. Nobody never seen that before. You got it?
Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Yeah, the rulership followed and you bounce back. You ain't never seen a nigga that had an ACL tear really come back and be fine as hell, man. Yeah, Derrick Rose. You know, Derrick Rose was never the same when he tore his ACL. He'll drop 50 every now and then, but he went D Rose. And just like now, America, even though they big dollars and they got the technology, they still not that real Roman Empire. Because even Roman Empire, they have a sense of discipline. You know, what you got to do, huh?
For we are born in all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never seen.
Yes, and it's that Job, the 20th chapter, man. You're going to be fly away as a dream. Because in the kingdom of heaven, Edomite, the period of time, the Edomite is going to be a rumor, man. Like, damn, tell you what happened to those guys. Like, who built this? But let me tell you about the Edomites. Like, it's going to be heavy. Like, we see these people every day and shit, but in the kingdom of heaven, you're going to have to break down to your kids and your grandkids and your great-great-grandkids what an Edomite is, or what an Edomite was, man. With this man upon the planet, you go into, you know, you got a picture of him, you got a hologram popped up, and it's Donald Trump. And you say, Daddy, he ruled over you? Yeah. Because we sin against the Lord. That's how the fuck they sin. You know, if you sin against the Lord, we'll be right back in that same position. It's gonna be a heavy lesson. These are really a lesson for the children of Israel, man. That's why you're going to Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. The Lord sent the eagle upon us. That means I'm gonna teach your ass a lesson for going off, man. And it's the spirit of the nation of Israel was down there in Mount Sinai, and they agreed until the contract. You got it, Lord.
Again, if I may read, it says, for we are born in all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke and a little spark.
Yeah, and the little spark in his spirit. This is just a little flame, man. This gonna fly away as a dream. That's why the Lord say just be pilgrims upon the planet Earth. Because in the kingdom of heaven, they just gonna be doing some work. We're gonna forget about Esau. The Lord gonna have to give us reminders, man. If we pissed off again, you gotta go beat a Hamite or something. You know, you got it.
Because the kingdom, you're gonna be 1,000 years into it. You know, that way it's gonna be a story about who Esau is. You're gonna forget that this nigga ever really ruled. And I was just telling the officer, you know, it's gonna be a story of the wickedest man that ever ruled the earth. You know, and that's gonna be a story sign. Tell you about the wickedest man that ever ruled the earth.
Yeah, you pulling out Job 9 and 24.
Yeah, that's it.
You're going to be pulling out precepts.
Going to the ancient scrolls and shit.
You're going to Genesis 25 playing, you know what I'm saying? And the foot, keep your hands on the foot. Now, you bring back the cane.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You got the hologram playing the cane, killing Abel. You see, you jump up in the middle. Yeah, this nigga right here, you know? I want to hear a scary story. Y'all want to hear a scary story. Let me tell you about the Edomites, you know? Yeah, a trend. I'm telling you, it was crazy, you know. Bud, our sons and stuff. Bunyan. Yeah. You got it.
If I may back you up on that little spark, this is Proverbs 24:20. It says, for there shall be no reward to the evil man, the candle of the wicked shall be put out.
For the evil man, the candle of the wicked shall be put out. So the Lord is also take down your kingdom, man. You know? That's beautiful, Bob. You got it.
If I may, one more. The Job 21 and verse 17. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out?
Yeah, how often is the candle of the wicked put out? And that's really his wisdom too, man. And how you know that the wisdom and timid is perishing? This nigga finna try to fight against the Lord. How stupid can you get, man? But even then, this nigga just, you know, the Lord really just capped him off what he want to do. Because the only thing he can do now is just come out with a new cell phone or with a new camera. And the height of this man is really just to make a cyborg. But besides that, he really can't do nothing else, and he knows it. You got it?
And how oft cometh their destruction upon them.
How oft cometh their destruction upon them, man? So the destruction of Esau must come. You know, you got it, bro.
Yahweh Shemiah Shah distributed sorrow in his anger.
Yes, and how the Lord gonna distribute those sorrows through those ICBM nuclear missiles, man. You know, those sorrows is not gonna get pushed out through a love letter. No, it's gonna get pushed out through fire, man. You know, you got it, bro.
Going back, Wisdom of Solomon chapter.
You guys go do what you got. Do what you got.
Yeah. This is Job chapter 20, starting at verse 4.
You.
It says, Lord, thou didst of old, since man was upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short,
Yeah, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and that's his rulership. You got it.
and the joy of the hypocrites but for a moment.
And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, and really, when you look at Esau rulership, it really lasted like from 1945 until like the 70s. And the consumers started putting up into the rupture. That's when that kingdom really started winding down. But at the same time, there was really a spark when it's called what, the golden age. You know, when there was really when the baby boomers, fresh out World War III and all those different things like that. That's when you was doing good. But now we're in the process of your kingdom is waning. You got it?
Yeah, it says those excellency not up to the cloud, but to the heavens, and his head reaches to the clouds.
That's you the highest ruling people. You the eagle. You the top dog upon the planet Earth. You got it?
Yet he should perish forever like his own dog.
He shall perish forever like his own dung. Obadiah 1 and 18, man. This guy, he's going to get, after 1,000 years in the kingdom, after you get done doing your job, you're going to clock out in the bonfire, man. The Lord is actually going to put you in they're going to want that. They're going to get put out of their misery because why? It's going to be a hardcore slavery. Even Jake, in a certain sense, rules back in our day, it was a point, nigga, in the hot Alabama sun, you tilling the ground and shit. Nigga, you hoping, you know, that you'll pass out. Because you hoping for death because you ass. But just imagine you get your ass with the spiritual powers, man. You pass out, you wake this nigga back up. Nigga going in, nigga be so bad. Y'all gonna be remind us about the Sabbath in the kingdom of heaven, man. They gonna remind us about Obadiah. They're gonna be about Obadiah from the 18. You know, they know they're gonna get out that mess. You got it. I don't want it. You got it.
Like I'm saying, like they're gonna desire for this scripture says that death is better than living life. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much Esau brought the Lord. That's gonna be really the Lord showing them mercy. You know, just tell them to you.
Okay, that's a beautiful point, man.
It's going back to what we love, not our lives. Because this severe captivity, you know, that's why we look forward to the destruction of that place. If you can't understand the spirit of the Lord ain't dealing with you, because this ain't living, you know. But you know, Esau going back, Esau going is just, you know, search, just reward. But hell, he put on us.
Yeah, it says forever like his own dog. They which have seen him shall say, where is he?
That's like, you know, I know 1,000 years, even in the midst, people probably right up even from the next 1,500. Delay. People just gonna be, you know, living their life. You know, when the Passover comes, we're gonna have to Edomites. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was freely reminded that, hey, man, you're gonna be the last thing in our mind. We're busy establishing righteousness, man, throughout the universe. That's what you want this, because Esau, when you look at like Star Trek, this nigga going to expand his wickedness throughout the whole universe. We're going to expand righteousness throughout the universe, man. Introducing the worlds out there until you have a shot. And this is what Esau decided to do, man. But again, you're not going to get to that point because you're going to die in the kingdom of heaven, man. And what the Lord going to do with your spirit then, that's up to the Lord. You know, you got it.
So I think that's going back into Second Ezra's, what's that, the 5th chapter, where they tell you how that rest is allowed. You know, paradise is open.
Yeah.
You know, going back to what the officers are going into. You're not gonna be thinking about a fucking Edomite. You know, because the world of Israel pushed these narratives, you know, what the Edomites are fucking day in the kingdom.
Yeah,
Man, you ain't gonna be thinking about them niggas, man, because paradise is gonna be open unto you.
We're going to be procreating with Edomites.
Come on, man. All right.
We have Taskmaster too.
The Taskmaster. We're going to have the safest day. Whoop them. And give me a couple of them Edomites. We got to bring Israel back. You know?
You gonna have games going.
Yeah.
You know, all type of shit, man. Because paradise, the Lord said rest is gonna be allowed, man. The tree of life is planted. You see that the resources to the earth is gonna be opened up unto us. You ain't gonna be grabbing no fucking Edom, you know? You gonna have like the office ones, you gonna have taskmasters over them niggas, man. You know, and when you ready to get off, you gonna have this nigga, your boss, your counselor, your old principal, you gonna beat his ass, man. That's gonna be good counseling. Yeah. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
Yes, and it's the spirit. That's why America is known as nighttime, the valley of the shadow of death, man. You know, because this is a dark time for the nation of Israel, but in the kingdom of heaven, you're going to vanish away like a bad dream. Because this is all it is unto us, just a bad dream, man. Edomites want to know for us. Nobody would have never thought that. Yeah. Even along the Ishmael would have never thought that, man. But it,
That's my number.
Esau. Okay.
Oh, Israel.
You know, because even certain, even when you go into like certain seasons, they really respect us as a people. It's just how we carried ourselves. And they really hate Edomites. That's why Haman was during the Persian captivity. Yeah. He was out of the Persian captivity. And that's Haman didn't get no favor over Malachi. Because Malachi didn't know. Malachi was the man for like about the rest of the spirit. And Esther was just like that. And they got brought up. But he liked to how Esther carried herself. He liked to how Esther carried herself. Yeah, that's the same gallows that you, it's going to be the same gallows that you got home with. And it's going to actually be a nuclear missiles. You know?
The Haman effect.
The Haman effect, you know? You got to do it.
If I may, just going in this Psalms 136, starting at verse 1. It says, Thanksgiving, turn from captivity. It's a song of the grief. The Lord, how shall turn again the captivity of Babylon. People like them that dream.
That dream. And that's like you never from a bad dream. He's trying to from that captivity. Now, you wake up from a bad dream, you kind of jump up. You know what I mean? So the Lord is really going to bring us up out of that captivity through the chariots, man. You know you got it.
It says, then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue singing.
That's how you know eyes are going to be on the scene, laughter, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be rejoicing and peace and happiness, man. In the kingdom of heaven, it ain't like you're going to get beamed up and you're going to be like, oh, no. You're going to cry, but it's going to be tears of joy, man.
I mean, going to with the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb.
Beautiful.
Going into victory. You know, we shouting the praise of the Yahweh Shema for victory over our enemies. See what it says, then said there among the heathen, the Lord Yahweh Shema have done great things for them. The Lord have done great things for us.
Yeah, the heathen said that. Didn't read that again?
It says, then said there among the heathen, the Lord Yahweh Shema have done great things for them.
So they're going to see how the Lord bless us, man. They're going to see the benefit of the righteous ruling the planet Earth. When the wicked are in authority, the picket mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, what? The people rejoice. So guess even the heathen going to be like, not a cog. You know what I'm saying? At first he was under Trump, but he was like, hey, out of one, not a cog, just gave us 24 concubines. Because we got one of the best hops of frankincense. We gonna make plans like that.
You know what I mean? That's Isaiah 2. It said, hey, come, let us go to the house of the Lord.
Come on, man.
Let us learn of his ways. You know, they're going to see the benefit under the rulership of the house of Jacob, man. Just going to our Lord Yahweh Shah. You know, and his men, you know, because the elect going to be blessed. You know, that's why the next thing going to learn more and more. Because the things going to be dealt accordingly, man. They're going to love being under the rulership of the elect, man.
Like you said, things be done accordingly. Because they're going to deal unjust with the heathen. It's going to be in a fair shake at the end of the day, man. That's why the brother quoted. When the wicked on authority, people mourn. When the righteous is on authority, the people going to rejoice. Paraphrase. So when the law is instituted, they're going to see that we're really trying to deal just with it. We're not trying to, get in your pockets or, finagle you. You know what I'm saying? Like Esau's trying to do. Shit got your hands and shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna see that we're really here trying to produce life in the earth.
Yeah, we trying to help you.
Yeah, we're trying to help you.
That's why even in the scriptures, man, he's down, bow down to the laws of the Lord. Hey, the Lord gonna really punish you. And your crops ain't gonna grow. It's an infestation of rats. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, the Lord might kill those people off and leave one son left. And now you gotta raise. That's a side quest. You finna raise this motherfucker righteous. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna cause these nations to be strict on their daughters.
Beautiful.
With the law. They're gonna use the law to make sure she in line.
Yeah.
Just so you know what I mean. You possibly give it to the brother Raheem or
that's-
Malachi. You know what I mean?
The brother, you know how Reuben is.
Hey, cause that the spirit, cause that's how it was during the time of Esther.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they was building them women up and presenting them to the king, man.
Malachi,
Yep.
Malachi, he raised Esther right. And how he raised laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why she was such a beautiful woman. When she going to like the New of the Bible, bro, they wasn't raised like the of today. They was raised through the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? You go to Deborah, Deborah, even Yahweh Shammah. You know what I'm saying? Even though he had a little spunk to her or whatever, if you Mary Magdalene, they had a little spunk to them, they were still raised under that righteous order. So imagine how these heathens going to be when they have their righteous order fully established, man. Yeah.
Quick. In Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yeah, when righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. You got it?
But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Yes, the people mourn. That's why it's a lot of people out here that's on antidepressants and antipsychotics, man. Because just living under the world of the wicked is a heavy thing that weighs upon your chest, man. Because everything that you do is a cause and effect, whether it be the chemtrails that get sprayed in the air, that affects you. Now you more depressed. It's the wintertime and shit like that. It's a such thing called SAD, seasonal annual depression. You know, and then also we can go past it. What about the damn waters? You got forever chemicals in there. You know what I'm saying? The food that you eat got GMOs. Shit just fucked up. It ain't nothing to really rejoice about, man. The only thing you can rejoice about in this kingdom is when it be destroyed, bro. You know? I was just trying to finish that, bro. That was yeah, that's 21, 21.
Back to Psalms 126, verse 2. I'm gonna get it slide. Verse 3, 2. I'm gonna get an NLT. It says, "We were filled with laughter and joy and sang for joy. And the other nations said, what amazing things the Lord Yahweh Shai has done for them." Back to Psalms 126 and verse 2 in the NLT. "We were filled with laughter and we sang for joy.
Yeah, we sang for joy, you got it.
And the other nations said, what amazing things the Lord Yahweh Shai has done for them."
Hey, they're going to say, all your high passion and shot. They're going to see the benefit of what happens once you serve the Lord of righteousness. You're going to see the benefit of righteousness in the kingdom. You can see the benefit of righteousness now, but people don't see it on a major scale because it's the world. You know, you got it.
It says back in the NLT, yeah, the Lord Yahweh Shai has done amazing things for us. With joy. Restore our fortunes, Lord Yahweh Shai. The streams renew the desert.
Yeah, and I'm going for the Lord to destroy these different streams. Destruction must happen. Because the reason why it is a desert, and the reason why the streams not full, because Esau, he's in power. So in order for everything to flow in righteousness, Esau must be destroyed. You got it.
It says back in the KJV, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy.
Yeah, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. So they sign and cry is a benefit to it. Bible can try to get St. John 16, the last verse. Read it again.
It says again, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy.
Yeah, so if you sow in tears, ultimately you're going to reap in joy. You got it?
It says, he that goeth forth and weeping, bearing precious seed,
Yeah, bearing precious seed, that's the elect. You got it?
shall doubtless come again with rejoicing.
Yes, that doubtless come again with rejoicing, man. So ultimately, even when you come back, you're going to come back rejoicing because you're going to be a king and a priest. You got it.
In the book of St. John, chapter 16 and verse 33, these things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace.
Yep.
In the world ye shall have tribulation.
So in in this coming world, we're gonna have tribulation. You got it?
But be of good cheer.
The victory,
I have overcome.
all the war, man. The town really gonna crack for the lack of better words, take control of man. That's what the endurance really gonna have to hang up. You wanna have to harden yourself even more, man. You know, you gotta go out. It's a lot. Nah, go back to the
Psalm 126 and verse 6. He that goeth forth to weep and bear precious seed shall doubtless come again with rejoicing.
Yep, because even if you die on this side for Christ's sake, you're gonna come back as king. Come on.
But jump to the NLT, it says, but they say is that return the harvest.
And harvest. That's how you do when you go into your house shop on this sickle. This right there. And ultimately in the harvest, the Lord's going to separate wheat and the tare. He's going to get bone and get big work. And the tare's going to get what? Thrown into the fire.
If I may go to KJV, it says, bringing his seeds.
You got to take them to daycare and shit like that. You got to. Then why we can't have a farm and work without working with each other and shit? Why we just can't, you can't do that shit in this society, man. Because even if you do, they'll call the police on you, man. You gotta do it.
And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
He that liveth to see the fall of his enemies, man. And the reason why we rejoice is because we're the one that caused all the hell upon us. We need to be saved. Not only do we need to be saved from ourselves and our wicked thoughts, we need to be saved from Esau Edom, man. From forever chemicals, from the water that we drink, even from the women. These the foul wine out here, man.
Yeah, that bitch,
Yeah.
she'll trick you into thinking she in love and, and whole time get ran by the street.
Yes.
But that's a product of Esau Edom going to the opportunity, man. This we need to pass away, man. And everybody got something about this kingdom that they don't like, man, but that's just a product of Esau Edom to be destroyed.
Like you say, that's even with the music. You don't hear Jake talking about having a good time. They always talking about some aggressive
That's it.
bullshit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Being in the trap, having to do this, get what you need and shit, selling drugs. Sleep with another man's woman, that's the shit you niggas get off on. But that stuff leads into death. And that's what you have pretty much subscribed to, man. By the way of Esau. Beautiful. So we're saying that, hey, pretty much, hey, the Lord's gonna set some up to where you're gonna be able to rejoice evermore. You're not gonna have to be able to wake up in the morning, and think about having to clock in and work to make your ends meet for all these bills and shit that you're subject of. You're not even supposed to be subject to the bills, man. That's why Jake is, Jake trying to get the bag, working 70 hours a week just to make ends meet. What kind of fucking life is that, man? We talking about the Lord pretty much setting us up where we're gonna be dishing out the resources to the earth. All right, we're gonna be the standard. People gonna come to us, man. You niggas talk about being kings, but you don't have a king or rulership mentality. You don't want to rule over Esau, the so-called white man. You'll complain about him every day. When we talk about this nigga going to change, you ain't got a fucking problem with it. Why you got a problem putting these other heathens in captivity? That put you into captivity. The Lord speaks about being just. You doing to them what they did unto you, man. So hey, you got to develop a king and rulership mentality coming to this thing. That's why many won't make
Yeah, I got that Job. Yeah, that's Job 20. And starting in verse 8 again, it says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he should be chased away as a vision of the night.
That's that bad dream. This devil being in rulership, man. And him being chased away is really him getting put out of power, man. And ultimately getting Obadiah 1:18. You got it, bro.
Yeah, it says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more.
And it's talking about us, though, when we be a part of that number. We're going to actually experience the white man. We actually experience people calling us niggas. Now you go into a store, niggas side out of you. Even you fuck with an Edomite bride and her daddy don't like you, man. There's a lot of shit that you do with me. You go inside the store with an Edomite bitch nigga sizing you up and shit. We gonna tell our sons those stories. You got it?
It says, neither shall his place anymore behold him.
And what's that place? That place of rulership. So he will never get in the seat of rulership ever again, bro. You got it?
Yeah, it says his children shall seek to please the poor and his hands shall restore their goods.
Yeah, you gonna try to nigger it up. You really gonna try to save face. You're gonna support Martin Luther King kids, and you're gonna give Rosa Parks kids, and Louis Armstrong, and you're gonna try to help these people out. Even a nigga across the street that's homeless, you give him an extra $20 That's not going to save you from slavery, bro. That's not going to save you from what the Lord have already predestined your whole people to go into, man. And really, why you hate us, man, you six packs, you hate these elites. And that's what's happening, man. Here in these other times up there in Minnesota, they say fuck the government up there. Because they realize that you are the ones that's fucking us over. Because a lot of people in Minnesota left the same place that happened with George Floyd, with that Black Lives Matter and things like that. But it's mostly populated Edomites, man. You know, and these are the most people that's out here that's protesting. There ain't really a lot of Jake.
Yeah.
It's really just a lot of Edomites that's hating this place.
Yeah.
You got it?
If I may, even when you go into sedition, it's gonna be these Edomites that's gonna be the face of sedition, and it's really gonna be those MAGA hat wearing Trump supporters too. You know, because they voted for him off a tip of thinking that he's gonna restore this place, man. But soon them niggas they gonna be the face of being a rebelliousness towards the government, man. Cause them niggas who's really more invested into the government. Those MAGA hat wearing Trump fans, man. You know, as far as a Democrat, you don't really hear shit from them, but yeah, if I may continue on.
All they want to do is be free.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Democrats just want to be free.
Drink coffee.
Yeah.
Free
Starbucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that goes into the Flavians and the Patricians, man. You know, the Flavians, they just wanted to be free. With the Patricians, they was on the pretty much that wealthier tip, you know. But just skipping down, this is Job chapter 20 and starting verse 19. It says, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he built it not.
And that's how he did with the Gadites and Reubenites, man. He didn't break this thing out. No, he came out with the sword. That's the reason why the Gatling gun was invented. To kill Jake off, man. To take their land. You got it?
Yeah, it says, surely he should not fear quietness in his belly.
Yeah, so you're not going to feel quietness in your mind because ultimately the Lord, he's waiting for you, man. So, you know, these damn Edomites, they really don't get no real rest because they know that the Lord is coming after your ass, man. You know?
And that's spilling over to these Americans. You know, your average American, these niggas ain't got rest like the 2009 American did.
Yeah.
You know, that's just that quietness, you know, because the Lord is creeping up on this place. But yeah, it says, surely he should not feel quietness in his belly. He should not save of that which he desires.
And what he desired, that New World Order, man, the NWO, which ultimately you will fail in. You know, now Papa, we're trying to get that Psalm 18, Job 18. You got that phone?
Okay. This is the book of Job, chapter 18 and verse 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out,
And that's talking about that rulership. It's being put out right before our eyes. Come on.
and the spark of his fire shall not shine.
And the spark of his fire shall not shine, so his rulership will not have the same flavor that it had a couple years ago, man. Because the light is being diminished. You got it?
It says the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him.
Yes, his candle shall be put out with them. So your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, everything that you build up in this society, it's going to get taken out with you. That's why I said it's not going to be anything that's going to be remaining from the house of Edom. It ain't going to be like it's going to be a Bart Simpson doll, or even a piece of a missile that had USA on it. No, all those things are going to get wiped away in the kingdom of heaven, man. You got it, bro. You got something?
I do it. Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. He will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So just even going back to the point, at the end of the day, the Lord is going to choose Jacob, man. All right? This devil, he has a time to go, all right? He got a time to rule and a time to be put out, man. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land, the Lord, so like the land of the Lord, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them away captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So eventually, this devil, when he's taken out, man, he's going straight into chains, man. All right, that's the lot of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, man. All right, to be a servant under the house of Jacob, man. Okay, but first, the kingdom is going to be brought down into dust, man. All right, the Lord peace upon the earth when this devil is totally out of rulership, man. And that's thus says the Lord. What you got, bro?
It's a beautiful point, bro, because again, his rightful lot is to serve us. Even you go into what is called Cain and Abel. Cain was a tiller of the ground. You go into that word tiller, it actually means a servant. So this is what this guy was actually predestined to be. Esau wasn't predestined to have everlasting leadership. He wasn't predestined to be a king or a priest. No, he was predestined to serve. And you can see it. You know, he's like a punching bag. You know what I'm saying? He has a little pride with him. So when you do break him, it's a sense of satisfaction. You know what I'm saying?
My man, Ed, just going to your point, like you're saying, like Esau, his whole makeup was pretty much being tilled. That's why the scripture speaks about the reaper, the plowman shall overtake the reaper.
Yep.
See, so you got men who are in certain positions right now. So as far as Jacob, the Israelites, who are going to overtake Esau, who is the current reaper, provide, sowing in the earth and benefit him. You know what I'm saying? So Esau's going to go back into his place, that right position, being what they till the earth. Right? We know that Esau is good at planting, farming, and all that. So, hey, that's what it's going to be good for in the kingdom, man. Let's add on to that.
Just going into this devil's true name, power. Going into, he changed the Rothschild, that covering cast, but that word bower goes back to the servant, man. That's his rightful place. And that's where Esau is going to go into, a man on the field, the beast man. It's like you got.
Hey, like you just mentioned, he's the basis of man. So he shouldn't be on top, he should be on the bottom, man. Because look what happened when he be on top. Only death and wickedness reign forth. Again, Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, man. And why this guy got control of the planet Earth right now, look what's happening. Look at the result of it. Yeah, brother Scott.
I continue on in that. Back to brother's point of it says, it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage of wherein thou was made to serve.
Right, first, by me, you got to come up out of America, Michael 2 and 10, arise in the prophet. This ain't your rest. James not going to find any kind of form of refuge in America without the great. It's only going to lead to disappointment. When you try to get money, you're going to find that that's all a mirage. You turn to the chip, it snap. Everything leads to pretty much death, man. What you got up?
It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. It says the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers.
Yeah, the staff represents the support and power. Right? The king of Babylon, of course, represents Esau, but who is ruling Babylon today? That would be Trump. He's the current king of Babylon. You see that? Those going to break the staff of the wicked, that power structure. You see the hammer of the earth going around the earth, confiscating goods, sustain themselves, even offend other nations. It's all going to be pretty much a snare at the end of the day as far as World War III and being destroyed by their own council.
It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
Beginning with the Israelites. This man spoiled many nations, as the scripture say. But who are the Lord's chosen people? The apple of his eye that he touched. That would be so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. See that? So that's recompense coming because of your atrocity, man. Esau knows it. You got it up.
It says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered.
Yeah, no one's going to be able to stop this man from receiving this just due. You reap what you sow. But if you sow, as far as weakness, hey, you're going to reap the same back. If you sow with the sword, hey, you're going to receive the sword back. Yeah.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Yeah, so why is the earth going to be at rest? Because the laws and the king, the true kings are in power. Again, our Lord Yahweh Shah, when those laws go forth, they're going to start to experience true rest. See? That's when they're going to start to say that these are the ones who should have been in power the whole time. We should have rebelled when we was on their side, right? We should have been side with Esau. So eventually, like the brother brought earlier, all right, they're going to come to Jerusalem to learn the ways of the Most High. That's going to contribute to that rest.
It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice.
Yeah, that's twofold. The fir trees, the modern day Christmas tree, which doesn't die in the winter, and also, the nation, they're going to rejoice. Okay, so equate it to trees as well. You got it.
And the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
Yeah, so since Esau, as people say, Esau's going to be cut down. It's going to be chopped down, man. So when Esau goes out of power, that's when you're going to start to see the nation pretty much, accept what the hell we was talking about on this side, man. See that? Can you read that one more time?
Yep, Con. Isaiah 14:8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us.
Right, so since Esau's going to be laid down, you're not going to see any fellas with a tree cutters come up against us. All right? You're not going to see violence in the earth. You're not going to see peace taken away. You're not going to see a World War IV. All right? That was Einstein said what? World War III? What? Yeah, because World War III is going to be by the way of the nukes. That's going to eliminate all Esau's weapons. Okay? He's not going to rise again in the earth to produce these same type of weapons. Rather, he's going to pick up a plow and go back into his natural order. And by that happening, hey, the nation will experience what? Again, true peace by the way of Yahweh and the law being pushed forth through the prophets. You know?
Yep. It said, hell from beneath is moved from thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Right, this links up with Isaiah 47. The Lord says, come down and sit in the dust. Right? Grave represents the ground, man. Come down to this lower state. Grave also represents, death. See that? Read it again.
It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Yeah, America's downfall. Yeah.
It stirs up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth.
Yeah, because all the ancient kings, these former kings, Nebuchadnezzar, guess what? They were all back today, in a sense, okay, through reincarnation. So these different kings that you see today, man, there's no coincidence that they're in that position. They were kings in past lives. See that? So they're coming back in our lot, just like Daniel did, right? To do the same thing. To rule in these times, because the Lord's going to bring them down once again. Yeah?
They have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
See, they have raised up, see, brought back from death, reincarnation. Yeah?
All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we?
That's what they're saying now. They're seeing America, the economic system breaking down on a break of civil war. So they're pretty much thinking that chop, there's blood and war. So at one time, they was feeling like Nemo, now they feel like sharks in the water. You see that? With these nuclear capabilities, that's how they made stronger now. Got it?
Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave,
Now pride is brought down to the grave. Got it?
and the noise of thy voils, so like vows. It says the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
Yeah, that represents decay, right? You can look at American street construction, you got potholes and what, but that's pretty much that's a small example of America's overall, structure. Okay, as far as the economic system, you got the dollar that's crumbling, it's being destruction, devalued. That's a sign of a nation's downfall. It's corrosion, if I may say. Okay?
It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
Yeah, so we know that Lucifer is not talking about spiritual leader Satan, as you Christians say, but it's rather talking about when you go into where Lucifer means light bearer or bearer of light. So who has the light in this lifetime? It would be the kings of earth. It would be the top bank elite. So they represent the Luciferians. As people call what the Illuminati. They illuminate. They know the truth. See? So how is Lucifer cut down to the ground? Can you read it, Buckshot?
God, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Yes, like falling from heaven. All right? You'll link up with Revelation with the 12th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Satan and his angels falling against. Nah, that's talking about Esau falling from rulership. Even Yahweh Shai mentioned, I saw Satan as lightning falling from heaven. Roughly paraphrase, that represents the adversary Esau. His kingdomship falling. Our kingdom fell when you read with the group. You know what I'm saying? I think the second chapter. Is it the second or fourth? Can we get that real quick? Let's do that quick. Somebody might be trying to grasp the concept. Israel pretty much falling from his lofty estate. Yeah, because pretty much the Bible's dealing with heaven, and hell. It's pretty much that lower state. You either up on top or you below, man. Kings and slaves. See? You in the heaven right now. You in the so-called white man's heaven. the so-called black, Latino, and Native Americans hell. Okay? We're looking to be exalted to the heavenly estate. How many slots? Lamentations.
Oh,
Lamentations. I think it's Lamentations. If anybody can find it. If not, anybody else got some? Cast down Jerusalem. The beauty of Jerusalem. Cast down from heaven the beauty of Jerusalem. Let's prove that point. Yeah, I think it's a Lamentations. But it's going to that aspect of like a heavenly estate. Right, like I said, the Lord deals with kingdoms. Like Jerusalem, Israel was a kingdom. You know?
in Lamentations 2:1, how hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger.
Yes, when the scripture speaks about Lucifer being cast down from heaven, or some paraphrase, that's really talking about them being cast down from their rulership. They were top back the leaks. It's like right here, Israel was cast down from their heavenly estate to dwell upon the earth at a lower position, to be slaves. That's what happened to us, man. So as you got the ones who are in power right now, Esau, Edom, they're gonna pretty much swap places with the Israelites. See, they're gonna go back into their natural state. Yeah.
I got one for you back and point up. Yeah, this Ecclesiastes chapter 10, at start at verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings and injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, so the reason why the Lord is going to transition Esau's rulership to the righteous, right, is because of his dealings, his ill dealings. See, riches got him by deceit. This man dealt with treachery. He needs to keep it their home, right? He's polluting the earth with his philosophy. You got all the nations pretty much drunk, you know, with corruption. And you see the fruits of it by the way of their actions, man. Death is rampant. So the Lord is not about death. He's about producing life. So if you're producing, as far as like your fruit in the earth is being pretty much cancer, then it got to be rooted out, man. You know, if you're producing cancer in the earth, it got to be rooted out. So they're righteous in the land.
Yeah, we may skip down to verse 13. It says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abominations.
Yeah, who is the ultimate proud? That would be the so-called white man. So what do you see? Homosexuality running around, right in the Holy Land, Tel Aviv, the greatest sex parade in the world, right? Why is that? That's no coincidence. It's in Tel Aviv. See, showing that you got the wicked that's in power ruling, all right, in the land that's not there.
Yeah, it says, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly.
Yeah, because America, ruling America, are going to be hit with strange rains. What's a strange rain? It will be the ICBMs, thermonuclear warheads, man. Okay? So this is what the Lord is preparing for the wicked. Begin with Amalek, the king of Esau, or the Edomites. Okay? So we look at Isaiah 14.
Yep, Khan. Going back to Isaiah 14 and verse 12 again. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Yeah, cut down to the ground and weaken the nations. We're starting to see the nations being weak right now because the Lord is going through taking all their resources. You know, and set up their democracy. We're starting to see Iran, you know, their currency being undervalued, produces pretty much nothing. Venezuela, they went through that, right? So Esau, when he goes around and say he's pretty much the board of wickedness, you know, they chop down the different nations and cause them to take on that heavy debt with that dollar, and now their economy is suffering. You see? So the Lord's going to correct all that, man.
It says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Yeah, the stars represents Israelites. Yeah.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
And that represents North America. America, Babylon the Great, right?
It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Yeah, so he wants to be like the Most High in the congregation the size of North America. So how is it again going to pretty much accomplish trying to be like the Most High? Well, he wants to bring forth the karate and chip. So when he can know your he can know your inner workings. He can detect when you're sick or not. He can tell you what you can buy and what you can't. He can tell you how to move, man. So this how this man wants to play God or the Most High Yahweh through a saying outside in the earth. In America, because America will be the one to pretty much dish out the chip that's coming. That's this man pretty much playing like the Most High. You see? So we're in the midst of all this taking effect, and Jake is still oblivious. Israelite camps are still oblivious, but they don't want to just admit that, hey, we got the truth, man. It's pretty obvious right now if you got any kind of eyes. Even if you don't got spiritual eyes, you should be able to see that this is what it is, man. They're going digital, so why not them bring forth the chip? You say everything about them going digital, but you won't say that, well it looks like it may be going to a chip for it. What niggas would say, well, they might bring a microchip in there. They might, but that don't mean it's a market piece. Well, why won't you entertain it? If it's come down to that, why not entertain it? Showing that a lot of your Israelite leaders that sold you out. They teach you a false doctrine.
I mean, they're careful for the sheep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You really care for the sheep, you'll tell them 100% truth.
Yeah, like I said, they don't care about the sheep because, like the scripture say, you got hirelings. You got people who have literally taken a bag to get a name for themselves and to push out false doctrine. So they don't care about true doctrine. It's going to tend to you being saved this time, but rather they doing it to fulfill their own bellies. And it was the same thing in the time past, man. Like, talk about the Greeks, how they had it wrong back then, you know what I'm saying? So they made a pact with Esau to do after his ordinances. Same thing with you niggas today. You want to live the good life, so you sign a 501c3 to corrupt the doctrine. And they teach lies. So you don't care if you don't teach the name on your Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, or that the chip is Michael C. You don't care about that shit. They tell you those two things. Just don't teach that. And you good with it. Your pockets is fat as hell, man. You're ripping out the congregation. You got land blessings. Donate so we can buy some land. Why you need to buy land right now when the earth gonna be destroyed? Ain't that a part of your gospel? You should be hastening for this day to come. But as we can see, you niggas really love it here in America. That shows right there that you don't want to leave America, man. You want to have your kick right here and live it out as long as you can. Then Lord will bring destruction. Once you live out your list.
I got something for you real quick. I bet this is the book of Titus. This is the book of Titus 1. Get to the point in verse 11. It says, matter of fact, verse 10. It says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision.
Yeah, especially they of the circumcision. What does that mean? Those who understand that they're Israelites. They're unruly. They despise government. They despise the apostles. You have a nigga who will put up a whole goddamn collage of prophets, but they'll leave out the apostles and they'll give reverence to these false ass teachers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I forgot who put that up, but it kind of pissed me off.
Nigga really Hebrew.
Oh, really Hebrew?
This nigga had told some, my elder Sanella. Yeah. He pull one of those niggas, man.
Honorable Elder Sanella. And he worships kids.
Yeah. That's how you know that nigga was wicked from the beginning.
Yeah, that nigga wicked, man. And you niggas are still falling. But like the scripture say, many shall fall there from his ways. With some way of truth that he was spoken of. But it's like it's too obvious. The Lord is making openly known who he's dealing with and who he's not dealing with. He's exposing false prophets on a high level. And if you're gonna continue to follow these niggas at this point, then hey, may the Lord destroy you, man. May the Lord just kill you because you're not right. The Lord is openly showing you clearly that I'm not fucking with these niggas. Let me expose them. Let me show you what they doing behind the scenes. Nigga like getting his butt plugged by his woman. He wants to be a fucking Hoover Crip. And you still gonna follow this nigga? Okay, alright. That's why when the judgment time comes, you niggas are not gonna be able to repent, man. Because you had your opportunity.
God. It says, whose mouths must be stopped.
Yeah, they mild. See, when they teach, this shit must be stopped because that's a very. Is that in this?
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
It says, who subvert whole houses, teaching things they ought not, but filthy lucre sake.
Yeah, they overcoming, they overruling the minds of the people, man. You see? You got whole people hearkening to these niggas that teach them false doctrine. They think that they in the truth. See? But they're really not. Because they don't have the proper sermon. They just see the glitz and the glamour. You know, the marches, the cadences, how well a nigga speak. You know what I'm saying? And they captivated by that. But when it comes to like the words that come out, well, like what we teach, a lot of us stutter, you know, we stumble about words, we're not clear speakers, or whatever. We don't have education inside. You look at that, they ain't up here retarded, what's wrong with these niggas? But you fail to realize that the message you're speaking is according to the scriptures. That's what you should have been paying attention to the whole time. See, that was a stumbling block. That was a stumbling block to those who are not really sincere. Because you're motivated by your flesh and not the words of Yahweh by Shema Shai.
This is St. John chapter 10, starting at verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an harlot, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. Going back St. John chapter 10 and verse 11, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
Right, so Yahweh Shai, he gave his life for the elect. You know what I'm saying? Which means that he sacrificed his flesh on the side to give Israel the truth. He didn't corrupt it, but he reproved, he rebuked, he came with the correct message. We likewise, have given our life for the sheep in the sense, in the spirit of it. We cast out the philosophy of this world, and we told you straight up what it was. What you need to do to obtain salvation. See? So that's a form of us caring for the sheep, to give you the full truth. And we're not sugarcoating anything. And I tell you that America is not going to be destroyed. That, there might be an MOTV or a chip. Or you could call another name. You still might save you. Now, we tell you straight up, what you should be doing as far as salvation. That's us caring for the sheep.
But he that is an harlot,
yeah, he that who have been pretty much bought out, signed a 501c3, and he living good. Nigga got a G-Wagon and a Hellcat right now. He's great, He wants to stun on other niggas. It's his glory. Nigga good, okay?
And not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep.
Yeah, so pretty much, niggas that sold out, they know that Esau coming. But again, Esau made a pact with niggas saying, if you do this, when this shit do come about, hey, I'm gonna protect you. But what the scripture say, never trust our enemy. You see? So Isaiah 28 goes into that. Alright? Because you made a covenant with hell and death. Hell with you out of agreement. When the overflow of spirits to come through, hey, you're gonna be trodden down by it. Those that consent unto them shall be had in the rich. So, Esau is always destroyed those who he spoke peace to first. Well, it may be about, you sign a contract or whatever, doing his will. Once he's done with you, man, he discards it.
It says, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep.
Yeah, so they're setting you up for destruction. Bishop Nathaniel, all right, Alizé, Genesis, Akkad Hassad, GOCC, Bubble Eye Blackfish. Who else we got? Man, many others, man. Jim Rihanna, right? They're setting you up for destruction.
It says the hireling fleeth, because he is an harlot, and careth not for the sheep.
Yeah, so there you go. So this is why you have to have the proper discernment to know, hey man, like who is really telling the truth? Whose doctrine has changed up? And whose doctrine has pretty much been consistent? Well, if you're analyzing things, you have to come to the conclusion that Great Millstone has never changed. No, affirmative, never changed in their doctrine. MOTB has always been the same. The names have always been the same. All that has remained intact because a gospel had to go out first for all these things, budded forth for his prophecy. That means the Lord is dealing with someone, and the Lord is not going to change up his word. You look at Genesis, you think the camp change up their word. It's a sign that the Lord is not dealing with them. They're double-minded. They're unstable in all their ways. You see that? So the scripture also says what? A melting out with them that are given the change. These are the instructions of life, man. And to keep the grind of faith, established in the faith.
This is the book of 1 Peter 1 and verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto we do well to take heed as a light that shines in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star rise in your heart.
So we have also a more sure word of prophecy. Well, the campus said that they got 100% truth. They'll even tell you that we don't have 100% truth. IUIC is simple. I won't say that. We know the campus, they'll tell you that. We boldly claim now we have the 100% truth. And it's not a thing of boasting or being proud. It's just a spirit. The spirit bears witness. The Lord said that he would give his truth in the last days. Okay, so who has it? If the Lord is speaking through men, then who has the full truth? Which there is no lie to truth, right? So you would do well to take heed to these prophecies that we're speaking. When we tell you about the MOTB, the Market seal, being mandated, you can bet your life that that's going to be made manifest. You can bet that there's going to be a society collapse, there's going to be civil war, there's going to be a famine, there's going to be World War III. A lot of you are going to die of the famine and just World War III period. You know what I'm saying? Jacob away from it. So they toss him to and fro with the winds and doctors.
Yeah, I got something for you.
Going back. This is the book of 2 Peter 2 in verse 19. It says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye be well that you take heed. And if I may just add on to the opposite point, man, like how these other camps switching up because they really not sure of their doctrine. They don't really know what's going on when it comes to the prophetic sense of the Bible, you know. But us, man, we staying true to the things that we believe in, man. You know, ain't like 5 years down the line, the apostle gonna teach you how Edomites to be saved. No, he's gonna teach the same thing that he's been teaching over 40 years, man. You know. But it says we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts.
Yeah, I mean, as a light that shines in a dark place, that represents America. So pretty much, as this truth is shining forth in this dark place of confusion, false ideologies, you know, this is what the Lord is saying to look towards. We have the true 100% truth. And you would do well, you would fare well better with you in a time of taking trouble if you took heed and believe what the report meant. You believe the MOTB being the chip. You believe in the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay? And that doctrine you should teach overall for us America being destroyed. They're not allowing you to prepare your mind. The only way that you can prepare your mind is if you understand what's coming down the pipe. See? So we're telling you what, the evils are coming. And how are you going to be able to escape those evils? Well, through your faith in Yahweh Shai. It's not going to be about any other way of you calling, stacking up goods. You know, even though there's nothing wrong for doing it for the time being, but it's going to get to the point to where everything that you have on the side is going to be it's going to be pulled away, and you're going to have to lean on a particular faith. And you're going to have faith in Yahweh Shai, who is going to be upon Esau and his sister. So the Lord's going to pretty much dwindle it down into these two factors. See, two forms of salvation. Which one are you going to choose? Like Moses said. You see, you know, choose this day. Your life or death. That's what it's going to come down to. Either chip or Yahweh Shai. See?
And if I may, just to add on to your point, that's why you can see why the Lord gonna call it the hour of temptation. Because this nigga, he's gonna come with quick salvation. Salvation you can just get, you can eat for the day. But the Lord, he's gonna come with eternal salvation, man. You know? Just like how Esau, when he traded his blessing, he was good for a day. He ate that many, but that blessing actually benefited Jacob for lifetimes, man. You know? You got it, bro.
Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians 14, start at verse 7. It says that even things without life give a sound, but the pipe of heart, except they give a distinction in the sound, how shall it be known with its pipe of heart?
Yeah, except they give a distinction in the sound. A certain sound. How should you know what it's pipe of heart? Right? You got different tones, man. Different tones mean different
it says, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle?
Yes, if someone is blowing a sound of mirth, right? Your prophet will tell you that, hey, don't worry about the destruction. Don't worry about society collapsing. It's going to bounce back. That's an uncertain sound. And they tell you your house is going to be here 10, 20, 30, 100 years from now, or even 1,000. That's an uncertain sound. So now you can kind of, in your mind, sit back and lay back. Get that rest. Try to get yours here while you got the time to do so. But if you understand prophecy, it's being spoken by the prophets, and you can see clearly that we were at that time. We're at the brink of all hell breaking loose, man. That's the 24th chapter. And that's blowing a certain sound.
Yeah, it says, so likewise ye, except ye utterly, so like, except ye utter by tongue the words. Oh, it's like that, that's it. Yeah, I'm reading again, yo. Verse 8, it says, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle?
And if I make too much, the uncertain sound give you a false doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Because we tell you that the Lord is coming any day now. While other niggas is telling you, man, put it off, you might come in 1,000 years, man. But ultimately, we put forth the sense of urgency amongst you. Yeah.
We might add to it because that's why 6 in the 9th chapter is so hot. We always bring that out. It said the sweet spot what? Yes,
So, this is Psalms chapter 19, starting at verse 7. It says, the law of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is sure, making wise the simple.
Yeah, sure. You would do well if you took heed. Because the law, if you go into the word, that's why you got to go in the word. It goes back into a body of prophetic teachings. All the prophets, pretty much foretold the end. That was like to a commandment, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you have the spirit of prophecy among you, and you prepare yourself, you understand that uncertain sound as far as birth. As far as seeking peace on the side is not the right sound to listen to, but the sound of destruction is what you should be paying attention to. So that's going to convert you by the fear of the Lord, to subscribe to his doctrine. Testimony how shall the spirit of prophecy entails destruction, and also salvation.
It says, the statutes of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai right, rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is pure, enlightening the eyes.
Yeah, enlightening the eyes. Yeah. The commandment is really to believe in Yahweh Shai. That's a real commandment in the days. And believing in Yahweh Shai where your eyes are open. See? Become more intimate. He comes in to sit with you to show you his most intimate thoughts as far as the future. Prophecies. See? That's how you're able to prepare yourself. But
Yep, this is 2 Ezra 9, verse 1. He says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand. Then at the very same time, in the lights, again to visit the world which he made.
read it from the top again.
Yes, 2 Ezra 9, 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Yeah, so the scriptures speak about measuring the times, diligently. And so that entails you being in tune with prophecy. You read Surah 39, all right, to be occupied in prophecy, because the scriptures is talking about things that lead up into the great deliverance and also destruction, which consists of more evils. See? So the report is mostly bad news, but at the same time it's engaged onto what we hear. We hear about Iran and America getting into it and Russia jumping into it, right? What America's doing with Greenland and pretty much invade different lands. We can see that it's pretty much leading to what prophecy. Yeah, prophecy. Ten horns, hating the Lord, and then burning her with fire. That's a build-up. So that's how we measure the times diligently. Even prior to this, we've been seeing earthquakes, so the going to up wars. Got it up.
Yep, it says, and when thou seest parts of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So the key thing here is understanding the times. See? The word in which the Most High made, and that in fact he is currently visiting this place. A lot of things you see. So they got that. They don't have the understanding. They don't know the perfect will of the Most High. That's why they're going to be pretty much frightened and terrified when these things are brought forth, because they're going to find out that these men were telling the truth the whole time. I sit there and bullshit. I listen to IOIC, I listen to ISUPK, you know, I'll still listen to Alan Zay, Google Grip, but I'm still fuck with it because I like it. You know, be wild out shit on TikTok and all that bullshit. I'm gonna still follow it because I like it. He wasn't motivated by, scriptures.
And if I mean, everybody, Ezekiel 33, it said, I will send a man for my host. So you really said this man over trust in him. Now, that's your fault for trusting in Amazon, man. You found out when you found out he started getting popped in the butt, you should have, they would have got arrested to Ray Millstone. Because guess who told you that nigga was wicked in the first place, man?
Lord tell you that those prophets that say there should not be sword and famine in this land, by sword and famine, so those prophets be consumed. This nigga told the Lord will come back between 1 and 1,000 years. You know, so a lot of niggas took that instead of their deeds, man.
Why the nigga saying that? Because he love America, man. Nigga got future plans here. And you can tell, even that nigga Deacon, you can tell when niggas sold out, niggas start talking about generational wealth, man. And if you a prophet or man, Lord, you don't want to hear that shit, man. But you want to hear about America falling, bro. Yeah, bro, Scott.
For you, if I may, to those who seek after these prophets. This Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 9. And if the prophet be deceived, when he has spoken the thing, I the Lord have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. So if I may, see the things that you people don't understand, that the Lord is in control at the end of the day. You see, the Lord, he's setting up these prophets on the left-hand side. Remember, he said the deceiver and the deceiver are his, rough paraphrase. So the Lord deceived these prophets ultimately, man. All right, and he said in verse 10, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The iniquity of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him. So here it is, you're going to receive that same punishment, man. All right, those who seek after these prophets, okay? What's the dude named Peggy the prophet? You niggas that still seeking after him, you're going to receive that same punishment that the Lord's going to put upon him, man. So like, not bad, if I may, as they say, the blind leading the blind, man. What you got?
They both gonna fall into addiction. You know what that remind me of? But that nigga, y'all remember that nigga Rap the News when he died? That shit was all of a sudden. Nigga just recently came up with a video, and the next day that nigga died. Same thing, that nigga Prince of Power. This nigga was so adamant. Every cover video, nigga talking about the little apostle house. And now all of a sudden, nigga, you woke up and you died, man. But it's still certain niggas that's gonna advocate for that wicked six, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't pray when they say, you can't praise the Lord in the dead. You know what I'm saying? The dead can't praise the Lord, man. So who's a man of the Lord now? Even there, another nigga too. This is a lot of niggas that talk about the shit, but the Lord make examples. That nigga DeRasha, aka Diarrhea, from the ex-Mourners camp, man. Nigga got arrested for being a fucking bug out, man. So who's the man of the Lord now? Apostle Hal 10 and 0. You know? Everybody that talk bad about that man, bro, look what happened to him. But again, that's really the scriptures. With the Elder Gamaliel, he said, hey, y'all better stand back and watch for these men. Because you fight against him, you fight against the Most High. Niggas don't consider that, bro. Because people try to bring this black church spirit amongst this congregation. No, brother. This is all of the heavens, buddy. All these things is predestined and predetermined. Even you niggas that scoff, man. Y'all brothers got it.
Like the scripture say, what is it, Zechariah 3 and 5? Every day the Lord bring the judgment to light. You know, but the unjust, you know what I'm saying? I forget exactly where it's at, but you know, that's what happens. Because like the brother mentioned, like the opposite mentioned, you know, the Most High makes you know, about people who come up against the apostles, let you niggas know exactly what it is. But Jake is so simple-minded, they can't even see that, hey, don't fuck with my men. Basically, that's what the Lord be doing. He punishes niggas. They wake up all of a sudden like brother. It's like my man. Yeah. Opposite mention.
I don't want all that.
It's not my man. You know what I'm saying? You wake up in the spirit world, you dead. Now you understand that, damn, I shouldn't have did that. You know, so I mean, we just saying here to warn you. Like, the apostles at Great Millstone, these, you say all humble. But yeah, these are the men of the Lord. We believe through the Spirit. You know, they ought to be reverence and fear. But you know, Jake doesn't fear. So they talk shit, they scoff and they mock, and they find themselves being jailed like the scripture says they would. See?
I got that scripture. It's Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It says, the just Lord is in the midst, it's like, it says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame.
Yeah, so just on like a grand scale, like when you wake up, you look at the phone app, the news app, whatever, you see so-and-so got put to death last night, you know what I'm saying, or some tragic event happened. There was an earthquake, a huge earthquake, tsunami. A lot of people died. That's the Lord bringing the judgment light, which should pretty much produce, you know, fear within you. How much more when the Lord puts curses on men? And you see that they end up being fucked up or sick. You know, they even got sick one time. Lord showed mercy upon him, and he still bugging up. So I mean, the Lord he's showing mercy by letting you know what it is, but they're not gonna hear you, man. So now, as the Lord said, Isaiah, about Isaiah the first chapter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about them not being received.
They stricken.
Yeah, watch you be stricken. Yeah, you won't revolt more and more. So now, Lord, they got to bring the support. And we're about to see that in the time when they control. Yes, with that, and Lord, what do y'all edify? We give all praise and glory unto.
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Until next time we say something. Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey.
Right now.
Right.